Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I'm Nerdarchy Steve, and I'm hanging out with all these wonderful nerds tonight. And we are going to be playing some Cypher System Nobody's Heroes run by Steven. So I'm just going to throw it to you, GM.
Thank you, good sir. Hi, everybody. I'm Steven Partridge. Welcome to Nobody's Heroes. This is a comedic superhero Cypher System game. We love to ruin some crime around here with the crime ruiners. And we love Sirenscape because we love using sound effects and music. So that's where you hear the stuff. Feel free to check them out. I really like it. I use it in multiple campaigns. Let's go ahead. I'm going to roll my dice here. My spouse actually got me a new funky D10 that's shaped like a stone. So we're going to do that. And whoever it lands on is going to give us their one sentence recap. That is Dave.
Cool, I'm Nerdarchy Steve from Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds, and I'm playing Blowhard. And we kind of did a field trip to the museum where I helped Nightlight's mom serve hors d'oeuvres, and I did a really good job of that. Not so good with some of the superhero things, but I could sling hors d'oeuvres like a mofo. Hey Robin, what did you do last week?
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I have been informed that my character was off doing more research on this whole Walter debacle. I haven't actually had the opportunity to go back and watch the episode yet, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it to
Ted. Hey everybody, I am Ted. I'll be playing Kiefer Greenleaf, also known as Winda. So as you know, Dave kind of informed, we went to the museum. It was a stakeout. We knew that the exhibit for King Tutti Frutti was to be robbed, and we were expected to try and stop it. Little did we know that the supposed hanger-on of the hero's paper boy, now paper man, was actually a criminal behind all of these goings-on, and he puppets paper through his powers to try and fight us, and he had a scarab type minion along with him who did quite a number on me. And I'll throw it to Doug from there on out.
Sure. Was Scarab his minion? Were they working together?
I don't even think we don't even know.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, that changes.
But that
I assume they were working together.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I didn't mean to. I was honestly just like, oh wow, like I had that on. Nightlight, yeah, he was excited to get to go backstage at the museum, which of course he's been to many times, and see where Penny the Pioneer and Terrence the T-Rex and all the other characters that he's grown up with get their stuff ready. And so he felt especially personally invested, and also his mom was there, in defending this bastion of learning and knowledge from nefarious criminals like Scarab. He was pretty disappointed to find out Paperman was dipping into supervillainy, while at the same time his new friend Magpie is discovering how awesome it is to be heroic. And he had a little heart to heart with Paperman to try and convince him to get back on the right path. And for some reason, I don't know if this had to do with the game or maybe we were chatting off it. I also just wrote down Gross World. I don't remember. Did we get like some kind of weird vision of something? I don't remember, but that's just what I wrote down as last thing. And with that, I'll pass it off to Del.
There was a T-Rex that came to life. So that was a whole thing. And also Elang made sure that she left a great Yelp review for Nightlight's mum on the way out.
Yeah, those pinwheels were on point.
Those pinwheels are ciphers, and we did steal some on the way out.
That is true. You could eat one of them, and you could restore your health pool.
That's right.
Cool. So,
that wasn't even the first T-Rex incident of the night.
No, it wasn't, in fact.
Oh, yes, Elang walked around with a giant T-Rex mascot on her head.
Yep. Yes, it was a whole to-do. And as you guys ended up finishing up your escapade for the day, you all arrived back, convening at your new headquarters, which you have acquired. And there is a really fancy limo out front. It is hot pink with blue accents. And who do you think would arrive first? We'll start there.
So let me ask this question. Are we jumping ahead, or is this kind of like right at? Because I thought you had said like we had like a full day's worth of rest.
Oh, you did have a full day's worth of rest. So this is the morning. So in the next morning, then you see there is a pink limo parked outside your headquarters, and you hear the bell ring of your tower, indicating that someone is at the door.
Katie, the intern, will open the door.
Okay. So Katie, the intern, opens the door, and you press the button, and these doors open, and you are standing face to face with this 6'6" woman wearing a all red suit. She has her red hair kind of arranged in a swirly, vaguely retro style, and she's wearing gloves on her hands.
Stephen, did you watch my most recent TikTok?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Just go back and watch that.
So she extends a gloved hand, and she's holding 4 tickets. 4 tickets. They are for the local amusement park, Gross World.
Oh.
Mr. Maximilian Grossman, also known as Max Grossman, would like to extend his formal invitation for you to attend his theme park as a thank you for saving his life yesterday during the T-Rex incident at the museum.
I will make sure that I pass it on to the crime ruiners. It's amazing that you're giving out comp deals.
I wasn't sure if you were part of them or not.
No, I'm just an intern.
Oh, okay. All right.
But Elaine will be happy that they'll be tall enough to ride all the rides.
I see. My name is Grace, and Mr. Grossman would like to extend his invitation to all of you to enjoy some time, have a little bit of fun, and if you're willing to take a few pictures for the press, he would appreciate that too. Well,
is there any other incentive apart from free tickets providing free PR for your organization?
Well, if you'll look, those are VIP tickets. So free food all day, free rides, basically do what you like. However, like I said, he would like to get a photo op, maybe not with you, not that you're not important, but
no, I'm an intern. I'm nobody.
You're not flashy.
No, I'm not important.
He also mentioned if maybe the windy, smoky person would be willing to maybe just sort of hold up some sort of sign or something endorsing no drugs for children. We want to present a good message. And, maybe then also while we're at it, we could just have a quick little mention of maybe how the magpie, I think that they're called, is no longer working for the villains, and that would be a very negative thing. And actually, Elan can also talk about the importance of
public transport.
We really thought that maybe Nightlight would like to cover that one, and Elan would cover more of the importance of being responsible with our powers. And that Mr. What's his name? Blowhard, I think. We were thinking that he might like to discuss with Mr. Grossman some marketing ideas. So yes.
So am I expecting the endorsement contract with further payment in the mail, or?
Well, this was just expected to be a short, very brief meeting as part of the incentive for the tickets.
There's a lot of requests. I mean, there's a lot of layers here of steps, of levels. They teach us about social media and about endorsements in school. It's like a whole class.
Yes, of course. Well, I mean, how the business world is, right?
Yeah, contracts.
She kind of removes the glove and kind of shows you that her hand is actually robotic. And she's just kind of cracking her knuckles a little bit, and she's just sometimes there are arrangements that need to be made. So if you could just pass along that message, I'd appreciate it. And she puts the glove back on and gets back in the driver's seat of the car, and the limo starts up and drives away.
I don't think she thinks I was important enough to negotiate with. And Katie's shoulder's just like, eh.
Can I be like standing behind you in the hallway, like laughing my ass off?
Katie's just, I tried.
No, I honestly thought that woman was gonna like just sweat her entire water volume.
Yeah, but
That
you're
was
so good at
hilarious.
the hustle.
Yeah, that's because I don't care if I'm being mean.
Who is at the door as I come like wandering out, maybe in my boxers?
Free
Chris
tickets
Mascan.
to the like amusement park.
So, can I have Crime Ruiner boxers?
Yes, you can
I don't
absolutely.
know where they came from, but they showed up in my room, so I'm wearing them.
Maybe they have a costume making machine where you can just like, put in what you want. And it's like,
The AI
Which is
just
about
figures it all out for you.
Mhm.
Nightlight designed merch. Let's not pretend that he.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the computer doing it, but it's actually Nightlight.
Yeah, I'm up on it. Sorry, I'm so tired.
Yes.
What was that all about?
We saved someone who owns an amusement park. Max Grossman. It's a really unfortunate name. Max Grossman. We saved his life from the T-Rex incident that we didn't cause at all. And he wants to give us free tickets to the amusement park. But then he also wants us to do a whole bunch of PR for them. And like, I tried to get a better deal, but
Well, we could just use the tickets and like just keep ducking their people. Once we're in, right?
So
free food.
are you holding the tickets out kind of like fanned? Or are they kind of like in a stack? It only looks like
They're fanned and like glittery and shiny VIP.
it only looks like there's 4 tickets there.
But don't worry, it won't be necessary for me to have one.
But if it's free food and access and things,
And they
There's
mentioned everyone but Nightlight, right? Like I wasn't there and didn't hear about it.
No, they mentioned
everyone
me.
but Magpie.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
She
to
mentioned
save
Magpie,
this
too.
guy.
Yeah, because they said, could you mention,
Magpie's.
not a criminal anymore.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Magpie's been teaching me about the 5-finger discount.
Katie, we should not use the 5-finger discount. It is wrong, and
also very difficult to get right, and if you get caught in an amusement park, they'll ban you.
Oh,
They banned me.
Speaking of which, Magpie, you found some kind of bird-related thing from the museum in your room at some point in time.
Oh, that's interesting. And do you guys know about this?
I do.
he might be.
Oh.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
we were
did
there
you
when
swipe
were
that
shopping.
for me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, we really missed you last night. We could have really used your help.
Yeah.
Window
don't really
nearly
remember all of
died. I've never seen Window so close to death before in my life.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
You would have been proud of him though. He out-thiefed a thief.
I am very proud of all of you.
He did.
You were probably in some danger yourself, Magpie. I mean, I know you're sneaky and all, but
Oh no,
Did you
I
run
was
into
just
any
doing
trouble?
some recon. I mean, I feel a little bit bad about it actually because I didn't have any trouble at all.
We had to fight paper samurais and
It hurt.
Nightlight also appropriated a culture and raised up zombie T-Rexes.
what the heck are you
It
talking
sounds
about?
awesome, and I'm actually sad that I missed
The
this.
jewel, right? That was from the
But you
Pharaoh
woke up.
culture. And the Scarab was very angry about it. Like that was their deal.
He was doing the golem. It's mine. It's mine.
Yeah.
And you did something with your like lasers
Mm.
and like awoken like mummies, like actual mummies, like walking around mummies.
Yeah, like they were just animated for like a minute, you said, right?
Yeah. But
What
you still have
happened
the
to them
gem.
afterwards.
As far as I know, you still have it.
No, the mummies and the T-Rex. What
Oh,
happened
they
to them
just
after they
deanimated.
stopped marching around?
Yeah, they just kind of collapsed.
It was
Wherever
a
they
day
were.
for the people who work at the museum the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys were super busy. But yeah, don't worry about me. I can get in.
But I mean, at least did you organize with the construction to get the floor fixed in the kitchen?
That's not
Like
what I
all the
was
constru-
doing. I was
Wasn't it?
absolutely tailing Walter.
Ah.
Well, what did you
And by
learn?
tailing, I mean I didn't find him, but
You did learn some information, which I'm going to send you.
okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I got something, but it is not a conversation for today.
So if Blowhard's using the machine to make boxers, and we haven't managed to secure any sponsors, we're all doing this at the moment out of the, shall we say, goodness of our hearts. We want to use that machine and try to brand our crime ruiners, and I'll give Nightlight just kind of a side eye.
You want a logo?
And
Sure, we can come up with something.
do a logo, do some t-shirts, spread it out there.
I mean, we
Right.
got this sweet place to live. That's pretty nice. I mean, do you know how much rent costs in this part of town?
Yes.
This part of town, no.
And we've managed to stop 2 super crimes in just the last week. 3, really.
I feel like it's been like 3 days.
That was about a week, wasn't it? It was like the start of the school week when we started campaigning.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Speaking of, right around the time that you guys are having this part of the conversation, the doorbell rings again.
I'll answer it.
Okay. You open the door, it just goes zzz, like it does, and this time you see someone you don't recognize. Well, you might recognize because you worked in the mall, right?
Mm-hmm.
You recognize the dudes who own the hardware store. Katie
Harry Bunyan?
recognizes one of them as Harry Bunyan. And yeah, they are standing outside your door right now.
Are you guys here to fix the floor in the kitchen? Right this way. I don't even wait for them to answer. And I like usher them in, and I'm definitely in my boxers, and like kind of steering them by their shoulders towards the kitchen.
Okay, and they just kind of like give each other looks and look at all of you and just keep going with it. And Harry Bunyan actually does like a double take when he sees Katie.
An intern. Work experience.
And yeah, you take him to the kitchen.
Well, there it is. I'll leave you fellas to it. I think the floor is in capable hands.
Actually, we were here on business. Not this business, but we can help with this. But babe, do you want to explain? And the other dude that's just as big, he sort of like takes a step forward, and in this very like almost quiet voice, he's like, so we were of the opinion that you were the only superheroes right now in the area that were forming a team as such. Is that true?
I haven't seen any other teams. I've seen some possible team ups, but they were villains. Yeah, so I guess that's us. I'm gonna grab a chair and Riker it. And be like, all right, well, what do you need a super team for?
We were hoping that you could help us with our well, hon, do you want to explain? And they're just kind of like passing back and forth.
All right,
almost
one
like
of
a
these has
volleyball
got
in
to
their
explain. Do I gotta
conversation.
send one of these away so I can finally
And,
get you to tell me the story here?
And so
Did you realize that you're working for an evil mastermind?
no, nothing like that. You know what, babe, maybe you should just show them. And so this dude's like, okay then. And he just sort of like stretches a little bit, and as he does, you hear this like resounding almost like a howling moo. And when that happens, this blue fur sprouts out of his whole body. His hair goes from black to blue, these horns grow out, and you guys recognize the Oxman from Bev's.
Oh, yeah, from Bev's Diner.
Uh-huh.
Did we see
Oh,
that?
I get it. Babe.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
And then he just kind of from nowhere pulls out this big lumberjack axe.
You're hired.
Yeah, my name's Babe. This here, and you see that Harry has like crept around a corner now and is like changing his clothes, and he comes out and all of a sudden he like is not Harry at all, but looks more like something between a human and a bear. He's a werebear.
Did Babe have the axe?
He does not have an axe. He just has
Did-
these enormous claws.
Did you say somebody did, or did I just
Babe.
mishear you?
Babe does.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, Babe. So Babe has.
So
Essentially, Babe is a blue minotaur.
yeah.
All right.
So good.
So we live we don't live in the mall. Our house is down in the woods outside the city. Here's the thing. Our woods is being destroyed right now by something we're not sure what, but on top of our woods being destroyed, this shady fellow who owns this amusement park is trying to get us to sell, and it's just a whole problem.
He wouldn't happen to be Max Grossman.
Yes, that's exactly the one, in fact.
Oh, it sounds like we might have use for being in his vicinity to pick up information sometime in the near future.
Well,
So-
whatever it is, this thing is strong enough to break down trees.
I mean, you guys look pretty strong and tough. Why don't you just stop them?
Well, we tried, but here's the thing. We're B-listers for a reason. I can get really big, and that's about it. Sort of like your friend over there. Wait, where is she? Which friend?
They'll be back.
He
I
just has
stepped
this
out.
big ass grin, and she's like,
I assume she
and
was-
like just gets the book and is like,
Erlang's sleeping off
Oh.
some issues.
Or-
about that.
Or that could happen.
um,
as he
Sure,
says,
but-
Elang sleeping off some issues. Katie's just like, I have friends that are like me, and just goes, and like appears behind window going,
I mean, getting really big.
carnivores.
Getting
Now we
really
have
big
the
is a
law.
super useful power. I mean, I've seen Elang use it to great effect.
the problem is I'm not super careful, and I tend to squish civilians,
Oh,
which is why
Elang's not super
I-
careful either.
you
You guys are like a match made in someplace.
know, we could definitely be good friends, I think. And he kind of looks at you and he offers you a fist bump.
So, just like, this is the major team. I'm just saying, spin off you two and the crocodile and me, the carnivores, like a sub unit.
Well, see, that might be.
Do you like raccoon?
Where's the crocodile? I'm confused.
I mean, that one's a bull, and bulls tend to be herbivores.
That is true.
I
Actually-
definitely don't eat meat, but also he definitely does. And he points over to Werebear, who just kind of like, It's like, oh yeah, that's why he's a B-lister. He can't talk, and when he's in that form, and also there's like these claws that they don't really make good hands, and so he just kind of tears everything. So we're not super good at being heroes by ourselves as much, but we need some help.
All right.
Well, you could team up with Bombshell. Yeah, she's heading up our secondary group.
When she gets out of the hospital,
We could definitely do that. She's in the hospital for what?
Severe burns and maybe a lot of broken bones. It was hard
All
to
right.
tell. There was a lot of blood.
I will tell you what.
We
We
should
will
put this team
find out.
together.
We will find out if Mr. Grossman is the one that's behind all of this deforestation happening in your humble abode.
Have you
Then
checked with Town Hall to
we
see if they have a permit?
Well, here's the thing. We don't know what it is. every time it starts breaking down trees, we try to find it, but then the trees fall over and it makes a mess, and then I end up tripping, and he's not very good by himself, and it just turns into a whole mess very quickly.
Can I
some
suggest
things
a training montage?
A training montage for what?
Yeah, they're magic. Like some kind of song about making a man out of you starts playing, and we go into the forest and we like lift trees and like climb things and get super strong, and like you somehow become skilled at something within like a 3-minute period.
Oh, that sounds very useful. Do any of you have that power?
No, I saw it on TV once though.
Oh, I don't think that would help.
I do believe that when they do that in the shows, that's supposed to suggest a time lapse.
Ah,
I see.
that makes sense.
It's all condensed. It's-
That would be a cool superhero name.
Time
Montage.
lapse.
Time lapse.
Oh,
Montage.
Well, we don't have much.
Montage would be cool too.
montage. There are two kinds of people.
We don't have much to offer you to help us, but we can give you this. And he holds out this little kit. He's like, it's a very well-loved toolkit. But it's really only got about one use left in it. So you can repair basically anything with it. But then it might get stuck, or it might just stop working.
Oh, nice. You guys should use that to repair our floor.
Yeah, good call.
The floor can take its time.
That could be your first mission.
Oh my
You
god.
can't ruin crime with a broken kitchen floor.
So,
It takes a family or a village.
what are we thinking here? Do we want to go out and take a look at these woods and see what details we might ascertain, or are we to head off to the mission at the amusement park and see what this Mr. Grossman's all about?
These
did they
tickets are only good today.
I
Why
really,
not
really
both?
want to go to the amusement park.
Didn't they
It just
say
kind of
the-
sounds like more fun.
Didn't they say the amusement park was expanding into the space where the trees are being deforested from?
So we have to go
Did
there
they say that?
anyway.
Who
Is
said
the, yeah,
that?
is the amusement park next to the forest, or is it like a
It
separate
is.
area?
It's basically like built in part of the forest that he bought. And so he's trying to get them to sell the other part.
And
Sounds
if we
like
find some
colonization.
evidence of him
So,
doing
I mean, that's not a
crimes in that
crime.
area of the forest that he doesn't own, we're going to be on camera and we can expose everything that he's doing to the whole wide world, and he will be hoisted by his own petard.
So why don't we go to like check out the forest first, and then like do we have time before expected?
Well, what time of day is it versus when does the amusement park open?
Well, it is, I would imagine, about 8 o'clock in the morning. The amusement park opens at 9. So
And how far away?
it's within the city limits. It's
You got a
actually
tunnel
not
that goes right to the
in
forest to here.
forest.
Yes, there is a tunnel that goes straight to the forest. You're 100% correct.
So to be clear, the part of the forest where the trees are being taken down is in the land that they actually own, or is it just
Yep.
here?
Now I'm gonna ask a hard question. You do have documentation citing that you own the land that you're living on?
We do actually.
All right.
We have a deed.
Just-
But
uh,
I mean, if it's ruined, it'll hurt the forest in general. Like, the whole reason that he has those powers is to protect that forest.
sure.
Like, that's what werebears do.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't like it when people screw with animals, so I'm game.
That was a very good pun. You also get inspiration. I don't know if you realize you made the pun.
I don't. I actually have no idea what I said.
You
it
said you
game?
don't like when people screw with animals, so you're game.
Oh, because okay, that's funny. That is funny. I didn't do it on purpose, but I will take the experience for an unintentional pun.
For public transport then.
Absolutely sucks.
Why don't we just take the tunnel?
So, you
I
guys are
think we
taking
should-
public transport to
What?
To the forest?
We've got to
to
vote for public
the-
transportation. We've got to vote. We've heard to vote for the tunnel. Can I ride my motorcycle through the tunnel?
You can absolutely ride your motorcycle through the tunnel.
I will opt to be a balloon for this location skip.
I'm just
So
gonna fly.
I will go put my costume on
Puppy.
and not fight crime,
I got you.
crime in my boxers.
Okay. So, are the rest of you going in costume or in plain clothes?
Costume.
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 Okay.
Just before they leave, Katie turns to them and is like, so like, we'll make sure that you get paid this time.
Oh, thank you.
Because I know my mum drives a hard bargain.
Yeah, I was wondering why he ended up redoing your cabinets for free.
Yeah.
The next villain to be revealed.
The negotiator.
Okay, well, we're gonna go. I guess we should probably go revert first and then go to get our tools, and then we can work on your floor while you look into all of that.
Also, if you can find any raccoons,
Yes.
we might be able to get you treasure.
That is a very strange sentence. Do you turn the raccoons into treasure? Is that part
No,
of
we feed it to
magic?
the crocodile and he gifts us presents
You have a magic crocodile that gives you presents.
and talks and is smarter than me.
And on that note, if you do go to the second floor, you might want to stay out of the pool. That's where the crocodile is.
Good to know. I know that crocodiles like to eat cows, so I will
They do.
not go swimming in the pool.
Do they? Cows seem like pretty big
Wildebeest.
prey for a crocodile. Really?
They're
Oh, yeah.
opportunists. They'll eat anything they can get their jaws on.
I live in Australia. Yes.
I believe
yes, they
you.
do.
This is news to me.
Except for that one cat that boops them on the nose.
So yeah, we're gonna go. Do you have a bathroom or something?
Probably several.
No, we just
bathrooms.
piddle on the floor.
Oh, okay.
No.
I mean,
But we have a dog that's on fire, so just also be careful of that.
oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. Well, it turns out he only burns you if he wants to.
Oh, that's also good to know. So avoid the dog that burns. Right. And so they will go and get themselves situated. So is everybody going to the amusement park? Is some people going to the forest? Like, what is
I think we're all going to the forest, right?
Yeah, we're going to the forest to
I
check
mean-
it out first, and then we're gonna do the amusement park.
Okay, all right. So travel skip and going into the forest. So you guys get to the forest and you arrive and you see that the amusement park is actually just off the ways. Like you can see it from the highway. But it does encroach into the forest a good bit. Only about a third of the park currently is in the city proper. The rest of it is outside the city limits in the mountainous forest that surrounds Castopolis. So, as you guys walk through this forest, you're noticing that there are patches where the trees are just broken and like fallen down. Anyone who wants to can make a intellect roll to try to search or investigate, find something interesting related to knowledge or science.
What is our difficulty?
I would also let Blowhard's ability related to breaking things apply here.
Because the trees are broken.
Yes.
I
He has
will
intimate knowledge of how things break.
how things break. Yeah, I'll inspect where the stump and the tree is to see what it looks like has done this thing.
What is our
Okay, so
difficulty?
your base difficulty is going to be a 4.
Okay.
That's a 15 off of a DC 2.
All
I'm out of
right.
my element. I failed.
I
An indoor kid.
I'm proficient, and I spent 1 level of effort, so I brought it down to a 2. I rolled a 14.
Okay, so for Winda, the first thing that catches your eye is that some of these trees have chemical burns. The first thing that would catch Blowhard's eye is that some of them appear to have been broken by physical force, and specifically like martial arts prowess, because you aren't just going to break a tree with like as clean of a slice as is going on here.
This
What, he
tree's
karate
chop down.
Is that even possible?
There's a specific martial art that's
You saw a man
just that.
control paper with his mind yesterday, Winda. I think anything's possible.
You do notice, Blowhard, that there are also like grip marks in some of the trees.
Grip marks in some of the trees, like someone.
Yeah,
grabbed
like
it.
someone grabbed it and like dug their hands in.
That
Like an
definitely
eagle claw
looks-
technique.
It definitely looks like eagle claw technique, and only a villain would ever master eagle claw.
Does it look like it would be it's something mechanical or organic that's grabbed it? Does it look like it's something mechanical or organic that's grabbed it onto the like where it's grabbed?
So the
Like a
grab
mechanical
marks,
hand?
they definitely look like they could be. That is a possibility. And if you want to make an intellect roll with a difficulty of 4, you might learn more.
Would you say that they are normal people-sized hands?
Yes, they are.
That is a no.
A no. Okay.
With a 6.
You got no idea.
The lady who gave us a tickets had mechanical hands. Well, one at least. She took off her glove and I was like, bloop, 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 bloop.
Excellent reminder. I would not have remembered that.
I had not seen her hands or her. So is she a robot? Wearing a people skin?
So, like an android or more like a cyborg, perhaps?
I don't know. Maybe more. There was more mechanical than just the hand.
So, Magpie, if you were kind of observing this woman, did you get a read on her? Did she really seem on the up and up?
Well, she certainly seemed nervous, and I don't know why she would have taken off her glove if she were completely mechanical. I mean, it sort of seemed to me like she was sweating. Does that make sense?
Well, normally, if you've got some kind of advantage, showing it off could be a form of intimidation.
Could be. It could
That's
also
what I
be
was
tipping
confused.
your
I was
hand.
confused if it was a threat. I was going to ask her if it was a threat, but she didn't really seem like intimidated by me.
She didn't
Well-
really seem intimidating at all.
I mean, she arrived in a giant pink limo. Not really something you would expect to show a bit of force. But that's like, pulling out your sword and saying, oh, by the way, here's a reminder that I've got something here that could hurt you.
It didn't feel like it was a threat to me, but it absolutely could have been. She might have just been bad at it.
Well, just something to kind of keep on the watch for.
So, Winda, you also notice that a lot of these places where the chemical burns have happened, it looks like it's really polluted the land around as well. So that like it's unusable for anything really outside of just if you wanted to dig it up and move it away.
Sure. Would I be able to find out like what kind of chemicals could cause this?
Sure. Make a roll. Difficulty 5.
5. All right. So again, I'm gonna spend, bring it down to a 3. And I rolled a 12, so got it.
Okay. It seems like it's definitely a type of acid, but there's more to it than that. There's a lot going on with it, actually. It's really strange, and you've never quite seen a chemical like this before. You do notice it has this vibrant orange residue to it, though.
So, in Nightlight, I know a lot of your direction goes more in the optics, but what do you think about this? I'm not really familiar with this brand of acid.
Well, chemistry isn't my best subject, but I'll take a look. I'll use my light to sort of give it like a spectrometer scan, even though I'm just kind of not, it's not something you can technically do, but I'll give it a look optically and see if there's anything I can tell from its chemical makeup based on its color.
Okay. So as you're examining it, I'm just
I
gonna.
don't want to touch it though.
It is super toxic. It is super toxic.
Okay.
This is like the kind of stuff that would it borders on like nuclear levels of just disgusting.
Oh, okay. So it's not even just like, like chemical runoff from a factory. It's like a much higher degree even than that. It's like
the most acrid form of that.
It's like Agent Orange. Is it napalm sort of stuff, or not napalm, but you said it's orange. That's what that was for. It was like deforestation.
It looks like very similar to that.
Okay.
So,
yeah, this is like weapons grade chemical warfare stuff. I think we're looking at.
The lady had red hair, and a lot of her aesthetic was red.
Okay.
Kind of, just like saying.
is there any? Do we find any stray red hairs?
Make an investigation, intellect, perception check. Your difficulty is going to be 6 here, because if you're looking for like a specific type of hair in the forest, you're looking for what is functionally a needle in a haystack, but it's a hair in a wood stack.
Yeah.
6 is 18. Bring it down to 15. Bring it down to 12 or better. Bring it down to a 4. Boom. Roll to 14.
Okay, so
Right there.
you do find some stray red hairs.
So,
And you
seems like,
find some footprints.
do we have any kind of like SCI kit, take pictures, sample bags, any of this kind of stuff?
You have the phones of the teenagers, because they mentioned having phones. You have phones. That's about it.
We have communication earbuds.
You have your communication earbuds, but you don't have a lot of
Yeah.
forensic stuff.
So the footprints we find, what do they look like?
They have heels.
Did
So somebody was wearing high heels in the forest.
our visitor, were they wearing high heels? I turned to the way.
Yeah.
Elaine kind of like dazes out for a second, and like Katie's eyes kind of flash a little bit, and she's like, yeah. Also, like, I'm just saying, if you were handling toxic materials like this and you had an accident, is this the kind of stuff that would make you lose a hand?
Well, I would be running around the. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say if I were running around in the woods in high heels, I'm pretty sure I'd be a robot. I'd trip. But you were saying?
No, I was just saying it's pretty volatile. I would imagine it could do a lot of damage to flesh or organic matter. It looks like it's made the soil infertile.
So, what direction does the kind of the forest carnage go? Is it like coming away from where the amusement park is? Or is it in a random spot?
It's coming out from it, like away from it.
Yeah. So I just kind of look at the down trees. I'm like, they're not being very subtle.
Mm-hmm. Also, if you want, anyone who wants to can make another intellect roll. This one's a difficulty of 5 to try to get additional information. What did you get? What did you get, Mootley?
A natural 20.
Oh my gosh.
Totally Katie.
So, are you Elang or Katie at present?
I think Katie's eyes are in. I had mentioned previously that Katie had just like popped up through Elaine to say what she had previously said. So maybe she was hanging out for a little bit.
Okay. So, Katie, you smell this like really overwhelming scent. It smells acrid and it burns your nostrils, and you just kind of start following Elang's bird nose. And as you do, you come upon this pipe that's just pumping this neon orange sludge into a river.
Oh, this is not okay. This is not. And like she starts getting like really angry, and then like her eyes go away, and Elang's back going, she said that I had to be careful with my powers. And then Elang's just like waving her wings around at like all the damage that this chick who just lectured Elang about being careful with her powers and all the damage, and points out the pipe to everybody else.
Seems to me like she was being careful and did this on purpose.
We really need to find a way to turn that off.
Just follow it back to where it leads.
I meant more in the here and now.
Well, if we stop the flow of this, it could back up and hurt. I mean, if there's anybody at the other end, it would likely explode.
But the problem is it leads to the park and like children.
So then you wouldn't want it to explode.
I imagine more it would be underground that would cause issues where people aren't going to be. Because they're not going to have this where other people are going to be just wandering around.
I don't know, hiding in plain sight works for some people.
Well, not everyone is going to operate like that. So I'll ask this question, Mr. Mighty GM. Would we have the ability to blow hard in the window, kind of focus fire the wind, like to like cause it to not keep flowing, and then maybe Erlang could just kind of like crush the pipe so it can't come out?
Sure, you could definitely try that. Go ahead and make this is going to be a complicated check.
Sure.
So we're going to start with you using your wind powers, which are intellect based, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You're going to make an intellect roll, and I would like for you to use a difficulty of 5 to start it out.
All right. So I'm gonna spend, because I don't want this to keep going. So I'm gonna bring it down to a 3. And it rolled exactly a 9.
All right. So you manage to, and when you do, the sludge starts roiling back upon itself, and it starts as it's being pushed backwards. So now blow hard. You're trying to blow or break?
Blow.
Okay, so you make a might check for me, please. And your difficulty is also a 5.
All right, so I automatically get an edge. That brings it down to a 4. And I will spend to bring it down to a 3. That's a 17 on the die.
All right, so you just, and when you blow, it gets just that much further, so that way now it is just far enough to where it's not now stopped completely,
Yeah,
and it's back far enough that Elang can get a good grip to be able to try to break it and squeeze it shut.
Yeah,
can you analyze this and tell me where the best point, the weakest point would be to like squeeze it shut?
Yes, I am trained in engineering. Would that be like an edge for her? Or,
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So, Elang, you need to make a might check for me, please. And your difficulty is going to go from a 15 to a 4, from a 5 to a 4. So that means it's a 12 because you have an asset from his analysis.
Okay.
And was
I
Blowhard
have-
going to say something? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that like my push power actually pushes something one band away. So
Okay,
if it's
so-
close, it would push it to like one immediate distance.
So it is comfortably back there.
So what's the current difficulty again?
4.
A 4 before you spend or apply your.
No, I have an edge in this form because I haven't spent the money to get big.
Okay.
An edge of 2. So I need to spend 1 extra pull point to bring it down an extra 1. Is that right?
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
If you want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. So I will do that. I'll spend 1.
3. All right, you need a 3 on the die.
Oh, wow.
I got to 13.
13. So after Winda does it and Blowhard is and together they manage to get this sludge rolling back on itself comfortably enough that Alon can not only get a good grip and get it shut, but also manage to like close it and clamp it and with a little bit of a roll. So it's really, really solidly in
And
there.
it's like, nah, don't roll it too tight.
And as you like a burrito, because I had burritos for dinner, so they're on the brain now. You roll it like a burrito, and it is now pressurized, and you can already feel the pipe quaking from the pressure that's building.
Now, how much of it is above the surface?
It's all above the surface, in fact. It's just kind of out in the open.
Can we stabilize this in any way? Compact it with rock and dirt so the pressure continues from out here to force it back from whence it came?
Oh, it'll go back from whence it came. In fact, would I have any idea? No, I am trained in engineering. Could I assess like how long that might be before the pressure is too great for this pipe?
Sure. Yeah, that difficulty is going to be a 4.
All right. So that makes it down to 3. Natural 20.
Okay. Yeah,
Whoa!
you actually can gather that it will take about an hour, like an hour and maybe 2 minutes.
Okay. And you said the pipe's above ground, right?
Yep.
So I will point down the pipe to where does it lead to? Can you see anything? Or is it just,
It leads back toward where the theme park is.
okay. So let's say wherever the end of that pipe is in about 62 minutes should get pretty messy.
Well, then looks like we've got some traveling to do and see what we might be able to ascertain.
Okay. So where are you guys headed at this point?
Are we gonna go in the front door with our tickets, or are we gonna be sneaky?
Well, I do believe we have tickets, or at least most of us do. I reckon we should do that.
Okay.
Yeah, this should
You
be
guys
great
decide.
photo opportunities for us. This is awesome.
Now, does the pipe, is it like completely underground?
No, it's above.
No, it's above ground.
Or should we just follow this pipe to whatever chaos is going to ensue from us, stopping its flow?
Well, if it's in the park, we might as well fulfill our, duties as established, respected superheroes, and then we can walk right in and check it out.
You said duties.
Good one.
Well, we can see how amusing this day is going to be.
All right. So all of you get to the park. The amusement park is packed because school is out today. And so a lot of
that's right.
the local high schoolers are standing in lines that are snaking all the way through this big parking lot that those of you who have been here for a while would know was once a beautiful scenic ridge, and it's now been crushed down and built up into a parking lot, and it has become home to this massive theme park called Gross World.
So it's been here for growing up.
It's been here for about 5 years now.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh.
yep.
Wink,
new.
wink. Well,
And,
I was 12 then when it was new.
So you guys get here, and there is a VIP line that you can basically cut through everybody else, and it is much shorter. As you
Elaine
guys
waves like the queen.
I was gonna say, as you guys approach, the teenagers are kind of like whispering amongst each other or cheering, like, "Look, it's superheroes, so cool!" And like they are cheering for you. You hear some of them talking about how they heard that one of you guys caused a T-Rex to come to life, and then they're arguing who that might be. Some of them think it's the witch doctor or the plague doctor looking person who probably brought back the dead thing. And
So typecast. So
I'm just
typecast.
swinging my lantern on my way by. Not a hero.
I'll stop and talk to the people and be like, don't let her fool you. She's totally a hero.
And you guys get to the VIP line, and you are met by a familiar lady in a red suit, and also a man wearing a pink three-piece suit with a blue tie and slick back white hair comes to greet you. Well, if it isn't the superheroes, welcome to Gross World, my own vision. My name is Maximilian Grossman, and he holds out his hand to probably Blowhard, seeing as you've been announced to be the leader.
I will shake his hand. That name must have been rough as a child.
Oh, kids will be kids. I mean,
I'm schooled.
why I built this theme park, because then kids can be kids in a safe environment.
In
It
Gross
looks
World.
terrific. Thanks for inviting us.
Inside check to see the trauma of his childhood.
You know what? Sure, difficulty 6. Intellect roll.
I'm not gonna use my auto success on that, but the temptation. I got a 17. That really hurts. I was actually
17.
close.
Okay.
So close.
Yeah.
And it took you guys maybe like 50 minutes to get here. So
So,
as
quick question.
and
The amusement
yes.
park, is it themed? Because it's called Gross World, right? Like,
Yes.
is it like the rides are like, up your nose with a rubber hose, out your butt with a paper cut, kind of like, Nickelodeon slime and like stuff
Double
like
dip.
that?
Yep,
Physical challenge.
that's exactly what it is. It's like a water park, but it's known for this neon orange goo that's
Okay.
everywhere. And it also happens to be notoriously safe to even eat in large quantities. You can purchase frozen vats is what they call them, but it's just a big, like, tiny bucket, big bowl, something in between.
What's the
of
world
this
record for
frozen
eating
food.
the
It turns
goo?
into ice cream, basically.
Oh, wow. What did you say, Dave?
What is the world record for the most goo eaten?
I'm not sure. Let's just do a happenstance roll. 16 of those buckets.
Wow.
Wow. I bet Alan could break the record.
Well, unfortunately, record breaking is prohibited for superheroes. Unfair advantage,
Valid.
Makes sense.
Also,
But,
Elaine is looking at the orange goo and comparing it to the orange goo from the other side, and she's all like, still like puts a little feather out and tastes it,
Okay.
but is like sus on it the entire like.
Okay, so you just find some of this sample goo here and you can taste it. And it's weird. At first it hits you with this like overbearingly rich and sweet. And then it like pulls everything back and it's really tangy, almost to the point you're gonna like pucker from how sour it is.
Oh my God.
And then it finishes like it's spicy.
It's Tang. It's literally Tang.
It is exactly inspired by my childhood trauma from Tang. How did you know that?
That is a very specific reference.
Yeah. I don't know. It just screams Tang.
This isn't right. This stuff.
Oh, you enjoy it. You can get a whole bucket over there with your ticket for free food. And he kind of taps the ticket.
Is that the
it
only
seems
free
there's only
food?
4. You know, I remember only counting 4 of you in the museum.
Just because you can't see her doesn't mean she wasn't there. She is the night.
Really?
She is the shadow.
And he turns to Magpie and he makes eye contact and narrows his eyes just a little bit, like he's scrutinizing you.
I just cock my head. Like this bird cock.
Give me an intellect roll if you want to apply anything related to deceiving or reading others or anything like that. Pleasant interactions, those are all applicable here.
I'll try to help by saying like something like, well, you know, sir, I mean, Magpie's our most stealthy team member. I mean, if she was seen all the time, that wouldn't really, you know, like the benefit of her abilities is that you don't always know she's there.
I was 14.
14. Oh wait, did I tell you what the difficulty was?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was supposed to be a 4. So that means you need a 12. You can tell that he is reading you like a book right now.
I just smile. And I don't answer. Because I haven't lied at all so far.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
At any rate, let me
We're a team.
correct my mistake. And he offers you a VIP ticket pointedly.
Elang really obviously goes.
And I just flash one back. And like you get the feeling I'm like Garrick smiling behind the plague mask.
But at any rate, my friends, please let come together. Come. And all of a sudden there's just photo paparazzis all around.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Asking for pictures. And he just like
the flash doesn't bother me at all.
Flips this sign over Winda's neck that just has a little sign that says "Don't do drugs, kids."
So I was preparing for this. You know, I've got the ability to kind of like produce smoke and whatever have you. Would I have the ability to kind of shape said smoke in any way?
Absolutely.
All right.
All good vapors do.
So where the sign is in the smoke, could I have it right illegal? So say no to
sure.
illegal drugs?
Sure.
Xanax and all that, totally cool.
And then you see that he just Magpie, you're really good at sleight of hand things. So you catch this and you can choose what you want to do about it. He's coming towards your lapel with a button that says "Not a villain."
No, I am absolutely just gonna sidestep that.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a difficulty for speed check.
Got this.
13.
13. Okay. So Nightlight,
What's up?
you feel a little pin jab you in the arm as he misses Magpie and sort of stumbles and pokes you with this pin that says
It
"Not
says
a
what?
villain."
Not a villain?
Yes.
Oh, I'll wear that proudly. I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I'll put it right here. Right here.
Thank you. I
Elaine-
was
Elaine
really
is
thinking
comes
more
prepared.
for this one.
Elaine comes prepared.
Everybody knows
and-
she's not a villain.
Elaine does what?
Elaine comes prepared and pulls out from her fur like a high vis jacket, vest,
Uh-huh.
and like a hard hat, and like a safety officer sign, and like bends down to get into the picture.
And he just starts posing and doing these like, you know, very cheesy, retro, like family-friendly poses that you would expect a well-to-do person who's just totally out of the loop to be making, and even does like a little dab and all that, you know.
Oh, nice.
And And after about 5 minutes of pictures, he presses a button on an earpiece. He says, if you'll excuse me, I need to attend to something real quick. But Grace will be happy to show you around.
So,
And
approximately how long has it been since we are expecting the pipe to burst?
about 62 minutes.
I thought you were going to say seconds.
So,
right now.
no. Yeah, so like it's been about 60-ish minutes since we.
Yes.
So, as he does that, like, I want to like put my arm around his shoulder, try and see if we can kind of keep him in. Well, I thought this was a guided tour that, since we saved your life and all, you were gonna show us around and give us a good time.
I'd be happy to do that. In fact, Grace, you can attend to what's going on.
Is it a safety concern? I am a safety officer.
Safety problems, just something that needs to be tended to related to some stocks and whatnot, And he will then shoo Grace off. So the red-suited, red-haired lady walks away, and he will then wrap his one arm draped around Winda, and the other one will go around Magpie. And he'll just kind of like drag you by your necks through the entrance to the park.
Mr. Max?
Yes. What can I do?
Mr. Max Gross, do you have a business card?
It's Max Grossman, but I do, in fact. And he pulls out a business card and offers it to you. And it has that like telltale orange goo, like sort of in this almost rubbery latex laminate on the edges.
Nice.
And it has all his contact info.
Elaine picks it up and really like obviously does that whole like, it's not magic like the other ones. And then stuffs it in her fur, feathers, and keeps follows.
Mr. Grossman, do you plan on introducing any new rides or exhibits?
In fact, I did have some plans that are in the works, but all of that's hush hush. We have to wait until we're behind closed doors if you want to discuss potential opportunities to be involved in the development of Gross World. I'm happy to oblige, and if you maybe wanted to, do a proper sort of endorsement or sponsorship, we might be able to get some rides themed after any of you.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
We just need the
Blowhard
appropriate.
coaster.
Of course, we want to probably work on the marketing and maybe work on your name a little bit, because it could have some implications that could be unfortunate in a family-friendly type setting like Gross World,
Sure.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the name of Gross World at all. That has no implication.
Oh, you could have bird theme rides for Magpie and Elang, and you could do like a spinning light ride for Nightlight.
A laser light show at night.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
You do like the window windfall. You can have you get to do some free fall and adventures.
Oh, absolutely. And we could even have like some sort of heroic Hall of Mirrors laser tag for Magpie or something like that, or maybe goo tag where the water pistols shoot goo.
That'd be fun.
A shoot the not a villain room.
So you've been around for a number of years. What would you take down in order to put up some crime ruiner style adventures?
Oh, well, actually, we were thinking we might expand a little more. We're currently working with the local residents on securing some of the ability to do that.
How is that process going?
It's going wonderfully. They seem very excited to help Gross World expand its family-friendly fun for everyone.
So am I able to read that at all?
Sure, go ahead. The difficulty for this is going to be a 6.
Missed it by 1.
Okay, so you don't necessarily believe him, but what it is you can tell he's very good at being political.
Sure.
He's very good at being a businessman.
What, the specific word choice that he's using, and like he can kind of sense when someone's giving him the eye, so like looks to somebody else who's not as much paying attention, maybe that kind of stuff.
Yep, exactly. So
how busy is the park?
The park is very busy right now. There's lots and lots of entertainment and rides. There's actually just a big bucket in the walkway that will occasionally dump goo on this location. So if you happen to be walking through when it times out, it will dump goo all over you.
Where does the goo come from?
Oh, it's our own special product, and we make it in-house. In fact, hold on.
Can we see that? The manufacturing?
You know what? In fact, you can. It seems that it may be that a supervillain has interfered with our goo production, and now we need to evacuate our facility. So, you know what? I would be thrilled to ask all of you to use your superheroic powers for the good of the populace here right now in Gross World.
Yeah, of course.
Nightlight, just do a big sign in the sky. Get out! Run for
Well,
your
we don't want to
lives.
cause panic. I'm sure they have.
So, yes, if you just want to head that way, and he actually pulls out a map of the park from his jacket pocket, and he'll hand it to probably Winda.
Okay.
Have you got a history of your EPA regulation visits?
I'm sure we could get that for you once everyone is no longer in danger.
Go ruin some crime, y'all.
So,
Elaine's just kind of standing there like
I'll start
moving
walking
side
in
to
that
side.
direction.
Nightlight is headed off because Nightlight's all in, I guess. What are the rest of you doing?
Well, are we just trying to help people out of the park?
He asked for you to go to the facility where they make the goo. He circled it on your map.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because apparently a supervillain has interfered with it somehow.
Yes, a super villain has damaged their stuff. All right, let's
Maybe.
let's go where he's.
Jury's just
Elaine like looks very awkward. Yes, we will fix that problem.
So some of you go not so gung-ho. Some of you go more briskly. Eventually, I presume Nightlight's arriving first? Is anyone
was
else
rushing. I mean, he
hurrying?
sounded pretty immediate.
Is anyone else hurrying? Or is Nightlight just going to be first?
Nightlight's just gonna be first.
Okay, Nightlight. So you come up on the scene and there is goo pouring out of the upper story windows.
Okay.
This massive, pristine white building with these smokestacks that are like billowing with white smoke. And
Wait, it's filled with goo?
yeah,
The building?
the building is filled with goo
Okay.
right now, and you see people being pressed against windows trying to break out.
So like,
I'm gonna throw up my resonance field and be like, the way to turn it off's got to be in there, and just dive in to the
Okay.
goo.
so I'm envisioning the I Love Lucy episode with all the suds and bubbles.
You're very, very close, in fact. As you're sort of pulling your way through, it's less like swimming and more like burrowing. And
Okay.
the goo is sticking on your gloves, and it's just a whole mess. And
Like-
you notice that it accrues really quickly as you're
That's
just
what I
digging your
put my
way
field
through.
in.
You can go ahead and make a. You can choose intellect, might, or speed for this one. It all depends on how you're going about navigating the goo and who you're trying to find.
Okay, I'm gonna imagine that since my field is up and that's a technological thing, and I'm trying to use my knowledge of engineering to figure out where it would be to turn it off first. That's my first objective. So that's what I'm trying to do.
So intellect, the difficulty is going to be a 6.
Okay.
Because you can't see super well.
Sure.
To find everything.
All right. So I have engineering math.
And it's unfamiliar.
5 and 2 edge, and I'm going to spend some points to bring it down to a 3. So let me spend those points.
Okay.
So okay. I got to roll 9 or better. 13.
13. Okay. So you roll a 13 and you manage to dig your way to the area that says goo manufacturing.
Awesome.
And so now you just have to be able to break down the door.
All right. I'll have my cam link here.
And right around now, you start realizing that while you have been burrowing yourself a pocket of air, you've been exerting a lot, and now you're starting to realize there's not more air coming in here.
All right. That's what superheroics is all about, baby.
All right.
Hey, you know that isn't there someone have a mask that can allow them to breathe?
Uh-huh. So
I remembered.
right around now, while you are making a might roll with a difficulty of 5 to
Okay.
break down this door, the rest of you who are going less briskly, we'll say, manage to arrive.
Oh.
So we see people like pressed up against the glass and
Yes.
wow. So Lang, do you think you can rip out those panes of glass so the people can get out? I mean, I can shatter them, but I don't want the glass to cut the people.
8-2, which was Elang's version of 10-4, and she like goes around and like tries to rip off doors and windows and maybe even crack the roof.
Okay.
And lift the roof up to like release pressure and like give it exit points. But part of her, because she doesn't like Max and knows what's actually going on, is trying to protect people, but she's literally trying to damage his property more at the same time.
That's totally fair. Go ahead and make a might check. Your difficulty is a 5. For just breaking windows and getting people out first.
Okay, Elang is going to spend 3 might points to get
right?
big. So now she has an edge of 6.
Oh, wow.
So that takes it down 3 levels.
Mm-hmm.
And she rolled an 18.
18. So yeah, you managed to get the windows broken out. You see a couple people are actually like starting to be shoved straight out the windows in this falling goo that's now like water falling slowly. And I presume you would...
She'd fly
prevent
if
them
she
from
needed
being
to, like...
injured. So yeah, just catching the people as they fall. And meanwhile, what did Nightlight get to break down that door?
9.
Okay, so you got a 9. Now, Nightlight, because of your situation, you have the goo starting to close in around you again.
Okay. I do have my field up, but which just protects me from harm.
Yes, but it doesn't give you more air.
Right. I was just saying if it was like burning me.
Yeah. So next round, you're going to have to start making might checks.
Yeah, I'm picturing that he's like holding on to the handle and his feet are like on the wall.
Mm-hmm. So what about Blowhard?
I'm going to get like a decent ways away from the main entrance.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna plant myself, and I'm going to go from blow to suck, and begin drawing in the air and trying to pull the goo out of the building through the entrance.
Oh man, all those calories.
Okay, go ahead and make a might roll. Do you have a special power for this, or do you just want to?
It is a special power.
Okay.
Is it basically your pull?
Yeah, it's basically a pull instead of a push.
Okay, so you can absolutely do that.
All right.
Pull that goo.
Pull
the goo.
Well, that's a 4 on the die, so that is probably not going to do it.
So you start to suck, and when you do, you just get like a mouthful
Yeah.
of goo all over your face. You're like,
Oh my god, all those useless carbs.
I can't do it.
Can't do it, so it's freaking out.
My body is a temple.
and your body temple's tongue is just experiencing a menagerie of flavors right now.
The tangy
Meanwhile,
goodness.
Linda, you're pretty fast, so I imagine you're probably going.
Yeah. So my thoughts. I don't have a power that allows me to, to really whip up any kind of like whirlwind. But I have like a wind attack that allows me to do quite a lot of damage. So my first question: do we see that Nightlight has gone in and is completely enveloped by, this goo? I guess he's just gone.
You heard on your intercom Nightlight speaking to you, and then it sounded like he was glubbing and blubbing in the goo.
All
So
right.
that's what you know.
I'm
and
calling
know
you
have-
from the bottom of the pool.
All right.
Brilliant.
So I don't know whether, like, I know some superhero games allow you to do like a power stunt kind of thing and what have you. I don't think Cypher allows that, but I'll throw that out there. Can I activate my winds around me like I always have when my mask is up, and like try to force goo out while I'm going forward, so that I can try and get the mask to Nightlight?
Sure, you can totally do that. You'll need to make a difficulty 6 intellect check for you because your powers are intellect based.
Yeah. All right. My brain is already somewhat hurty, but I gotta keep trying. So I'm gonna bring it down to a 4.
So you're trying to like shoot it through the goo to me?
No, I'm trying to like burrow through.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Hand it to you.
Yeah. I'll be fine. Don't worry.
Didn't make it.
Okay, so you try to go through this goo, and when you do, it is much thicker than you expected, and then the gelatinousness and the flexibility is actually working against you. If this was something like water where it was more liquid, or if it was even something that was more solid so you could shove it more readily, that would help you. But it has so much give, it's actually hurting your ability to dig through it with your wind powers. So
Sure.
you do manage to get into it, and you get yourself a little air pocket when you do. So you're like in the goo with an air pocket right now.
Goo bros.
So you will have an easier time of doing what you were trying to do next time.
Sure.
Team goo.
Now we have Magpie. Magpie, what are you doing?
Sneaking off to try and find an off switch.
Okay.
Everybody else is doing everything they can to clear out the goo for now, but we need it to stop.
Okay. So you are aware there is no off switch readily apparent outside. If you want, you can make an intellect roll with a difficulty of 4 to perceive something.
If I really need a safety officer.
5, you'll perceive another thing.
19.
Okay. So the first thing that you perceive, and you get a minor effect here. So I'll describe what you see, and then you can tell me if you want a minor effect related to one of these things. The first one is Grace is behind the building, and she grabs onto the wall, digging these metal hands into the wall, and you see steam pouring from her joints, like where her elbow and her shoulder are, and she rips off a chunk of wall, and goo just starts flowing out. You also see that there are several pipes in the back, and one of them is now oozing this goo that seems to be burning things.
I see. I'm gonna
It's
take a
goo
picture of her
residue.
doing this with my cell phone.
Okay, you can absolutely do that.
It's the runoff from the.
And because I just like the flow of throwing it to people, Robin, who you throwing it to?
Oh geez, who hasn't gone?
You were the last one, so.
Oh, okay, Lang.
Lang is just trying to release the pressure on those who are inside because feathers and goo is not a good idea. She will not do well in there.
Oh,
so
yeah,
she's
you're already pretty covered in goo, too.
She's basically copying what the bad guy is doing, but from the other side, just like trying to rip chunks of wall off.
Just tearing the building apart.
To try and release the pressure to help her people inside.
Okay. Difficulty of 7.
Okay. So edge of 6. So if I spend 1 might point, it'll bring it down by 3. So I got to get a 12. On the die. Sorry,
okay.
Yes.
So you got exactly what you needed, right? All right. So you dig your bird claws in and rip a chunk of wall out, and the goo starts flowing from both directions now. Nightlight, you find yourself being pulled away from the door at rapid pace.
Oh, great.
And Winda, you see that the goo is starting to roil toward you a little bit, but like off to the side. So it's like flowing out of an outlet.
Can I just ride it out?
Sure.
And when I get outside, just kind of like take off into the air?
Absolutely.
I mean, as long as I see that, Nightlight is safe, I don't need to push.
Okay. So you see this happening, Magpie. Is there anything in particular you want to do?
I'm not entirely sure what I can do. Physical stunts aren't really my shtick.
Okay.
Unless it's stealing.
I'm just going to give you this then. You do notice that those pipes that were leaking the burning goo, it's starting to be more than a leak. It's more like a trickle now, and it's probably going to turn into like a gush before too long.
Okay. Can I follow the pipes back toward the source?
The source in the building or
Yes.
the source outside the building?
In the building.
Okay, that will be difficult with a speed or might check because the goo is now flowing out, so it's kind of pulling everything outward.
Right.
So you can do it, but it will be a difficulty 6.
No, I think I want to go catch up with what's her face.
Grace?
Grace? Yeah.
Okay. So
She knows what I need to know.
Okay. So you go up to her and you see she's just kind of like using her hands to scrape goo out.
All right, where's it stored?
What?
The goo?
In here.
In here.
Yes.
I calm Blowhard.
Okay. So what do you say to Blowhard?
I give him rough coordinates, and I'm like, it's in here. She's trying to break through the wall. I can't do it, but I know you can.
Okay.
So from the coordinates that I'm given, is there what's the most direct line to that spot?
Probably if you went through where she's shoveling right now. Just trying to pull it out.
I will run in that direction and begin blowing in front of me to push everything away.
Okay. Go ahead and make a check. Your difficulty is going to be a 6.
All right. I'll drop that down to a 5. And you know what? And then I can spend to make it a 4. Oh, that's a GM intrusion.
Okay.
Not in the good way.
No.
So you start blowing and you're making really good progress. In fact, you're going and you get all the way in and you are now fully in this building. Your GM intrusion is that once you're fully in the building, you suddenly realize you're out of lung capacity. And as you take a breath, then all of a sudden the air pocket around you just shrinks and you've got no air pocket and you're trapped inside now.
Oh no.
So meanwhile, Nightlight, you are trying to open a door and you are being pulled away from the door. So what do you want to do?
I want to try. I want to shut off the. I was going for where it is. The controls. So that's what I'm going to keep trying to do. Now we got these a while ago. We never got what they actually do. What does the joy buzzer do?
The joy buzzer actually offers a shock to someone.
Okay.
It can stun them. It can also short out electrical devices, and this door does have an electric lock.
That's exactly what I was asking, so I will just do that, just like try to get
all
do it
right.
that way.
So you activate this joy buzzer ring, and you smash it on the electric lock, and it just and it emergency unlocks, and the door flings open.
As I imagine I would wash into the room along with a lot of goo, and just if I have the time or wherewithal, and still my turn, I'm just going to try to turn off the main, whatever's causing the pumping action to continue.
Yep. Intellect check.
Sure.
Difficulty 5, because you are just immediately trying to find it real quick before it fills with goo.
I am trained in engineering, so I'm going to say I probably reduce it 4. All right. Oh my God! Another natural 20.
Okay.
I can.
So what is the effect you want?
I would like to just honestly just turn it off and have the danger. I mean, it's not pumping any more out. It's like whether I'm still suffocating or caught in it, that's fine. I just don't want it to be continuing to pump stuff.
Okay, so your major effect is whoever was in here last forgot to lock the door back that guards the switch.
Okay.
So you just pop it open and pull the switch. And you guys hear this.
Got it.
And while the room is still quickly filling with goo for you, and you are at least safe, and the goo flow seems to have stopped. Blowhard,
Just for dramatic effect, I'm going to say he just passes out that in the goo.
So Blowhard, you are not being sucked out or like pushed out as forcefully anymore, but there is still like this flow outward. And Winda, you're aware of it as well. So the flow is slowed, but now it's just kind of like leaking out of the building.
So now we can kind of maneuver through it, and we're just like walking.
Are there any other people in danger? Or is it, are they good at this point?
I was picturing them just
there
rushing.
There are other people in danger. There are unconscious scientists everywhere.
I'll do my best to help out, stabilize,
Okay.
whatever needs to be done.
So I will have you and Blowhard and Nightlight all roll intellect checks with a difficulty of 4. If all 3 of you succeed, you get everybody out.
Really?
If 2 of you succeed, you get 2/3 out. If 1 of you succeeds, you get 1/3 out. And if nobody succeeds, everybody is already dead from suffocation.
Oh, no. Okay, come on, class D20. Don't fail me.
No pressure at all.
I'm gonna bring it down to a 2.
I had a 14. What was it? Yeah. 4 was the difficulty?
4. I roll a 12.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So 2/3 have made it out alive.
Oh, that's a 3 on the die.
Blowhard killed his.
On the die. And here's where I'm going to insert a GM intrusion for you. So you get an experience and you get to give one to someone else.
I'll give it to Nightlight since he's involved in this scene.
All right.
So
And he heroically dove into the goo.
Blowhard, as you come into one of these corridors to try to rescue people, there is a person who's not yet suffocated, and they point and behind you, and just as you turn, the flow of goo shuts the door back, and you 2 are trapped in here now.
Wait, Blowhard's trapped in somewhere?
Yep, Blowhard is trapped in a room in a supply closet with a janitor.
Okay.
And you guys outside, Elong and Magpie, you see Winda sort of wash out, and you've got about 5 people that you're just sort of like all huddled together in this big goo ball. And you see that Nightlight is shining like a beacon coming through this distorted light coming through the goo as he drags a line of 5 more people out.
Yeah.
About 3 more make it out, but you don't see Blowhard anywhere. And after a few minutes, nobody else comes out. Blowhard, make a might check with the difficulty of 6 to not suffocate.
All right. And
Our fearless leader.
let's try this die. 6. I can bring that down to a 4. No, I can't.
Oh no!
I am suffocating. That's a 4 on the die.
Okay.
If I see that he's not there, I would dive right back in and look for him and just do everything.
Okay.
Like, Blowhard, are you okay? Where are you?
So Blowhard, at this point, you can say 5 coherent words before you lose consciousness through your comm. What are they?
Trapped in closet with civilian.
All right, that's what you've got. Everybody got that.
Can
I
reply.
need to check all the supply closets. Is that Grace still around nearby?
Grace is nearby.
Yeah, screw it. I already dove right back in. I mean, if I heard, I'm just
All
going
right,
to go
you dive in.
and find him.
Do I
Make
see
an
any closets?
intellect roll. Difficulty
Okay.
4.
Can I look there as well?
Absolutely, difficulty 4.
I just made it. I'm 12. I rolled 12 on the day.
16 on the die.
16 on the die. It actually takes Winda blowing into the goo to give you an air pocket.
Oh, nice.
And you navigating through. Together, the two of you find the first supply closet that you reach. You open the door and goo starts pouring into this air pocket a little bit, closing off your air supply, but there is an unconscious Blowhard and a janitor with him.
Just grab him.
All right, so you grab him and drag him out, and all of you make it out safely.
Elaine is just standing with Magpie staring at Grace. Just like staring at her.
Is the janitor
I want
alive?
to put a pin in that staring.
The janitor seems to be barely alive. So if one of you wants to attempt CPR on Blowhard or the janitor, you have a difficulty 5 for
Either
intellect or might.
Elaine will be like step towards the towards Blowhard
Okay.
and like staring at Grace the whole time and give him CPR using her auto success to automatically
Okay.
succeed and bring him back.
I will attempt on the janitor.
Okay.
Instead of Lang just pulling out a crazy straw and sucking the goo out.
And of course, drop the die on the ground.
Oh, no.
If only,
Whoa.
if only I actually allowed, dice rolls off the table.
Raw dice.
That's going to be a negatory. That's a 3.
A 3? Okay, so
Quick
Elaine.
question, is that the only person left alive? Like the only person?
Yes.
Elaine then stands up, takes out her talisman that revives people from the dead
Uh-huh.
and brings the janitor back to life.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
And
so
like this
we'll
whole
get
like
back-
mystical
back-
talisman goes,
Oh, that's awesome.
So Elaine walks up to Blowhard and with a knuckle just with a compression and it's like and all this goo just flies out of his lungs. And with his superpower, it like geysers like a whale spout. And
To me, in my
Blowhard-
mind, the goo is cotton candy. Orange cotton candy.
and you come to Blowhard and you see that the janitor has died, it seems. And just as Grace walks up and starts to say something, Elang pulls out this talisman and you push it on the guy's chest, sort of like you do with your book. And as it sinks in, you feel it almost powders underneath your hand. and you see that all of his veins start pulsing with this red light from under the skin. And he just, and he coughs out this goo, and he is now alive again all of a sudden.
Oh my gosh. That was incredible.
Sorry, it's, an awful lot of effort. I guess you would say. Winded.
They never
Sugar-
said that it was this
Sugar
kind
kills.
of danger.
Elang looks at the janitor and then looks at Grace and then looks at the janitor and goes, janitors know everything. What were they really doing here?
What do you mean? We make goo. It's not complicated.
What comes out at the other end?
Of what?
That's kind of gross.
That's a very like personal
What is
question.
what is the byproduct? The waste product.
Didn't you say like she was venting some off that was like dissolving the ground?
And you see he kind of like makes eye contact with Grace, who gives him this look. He's like,
I saved your life.
I don't know. I need to go. And he kind of like stands up, slips on his goo. You grab him?
Catch him?
Grab him, and she's 12 feet tall, and she just like lifts him up.
I'm just a
My
janitor,
friend-
man. I don't know.
Good.
I don't know nothing.
She would like to roll intimidation
Okay.
to make him tell the truth.
Okay,
Because
that's
her
interesting.
friend
I think it
just
really is a
died.
janitor.
He's a janitor. He has a difficulty of 3. It's not hard.
Tell us all your corporate secrets, guy who mops the floor.
Who hears everything and sees
Or I'm gonna-
everything and cleans everything. Where is it? There is something about this already. Yes. So it was a 3. So I actually, because I'm the feet freakishly large, I get basically an automatic level decrease
Uh-huh.
for intimidation. And what am I rolling it against?
You're rolling against a 3. However,
no,
I'm
might,
going
speed,
to
or
use my
intellect.
free intrusion for your success to negate your benefit from being bigger.
Okay, is it might or intellect?
It is, I'll let you choose.
I'm going to choose might, and then I'm going to spend one of my dice pool, and that makes the difficulty auto success.
Oh my gosh. So I get another intrusion against you. Okay. So he's like, okay, fine. There's some really toxic stuff that we filter out to make it safe to eat.
And that's just being disposed into the forest over there, right?
I mean, it goes into a pipe. I don't know where the pipe leads. I don't ask questions. I know better than to ask questions. And he says that making eye contact with Grace.
Just like the whole team's head turns towards Grace. And I'm like,
There's something you'd like to tell us about Grace?
Mr. Grossman will be here soon. If you want, we can discuss things then.
can I retroact that Elaine pulled her phone out of her like feathers to record what the janitor said?
You know what? I'm gonna use my free GM
Damn
intrusion.
it.
No.
That said, while that was going on, Magpie is gonna be like trying to get Leo to like send her the pictures from the forest.
Okay.
In the
Okay.
forest?
I think
Yeah.
Elang did pull out her phone to record it, but you took a picture instead of it recorded.
It was on the other way. We just took a selfie.
And just her angry face. She takes the janitor and kind of like tucks.
Come on,
She
it's
tries
just
to like
phone
put him in the
this big.
feathers, but doesn't fit. Because you can't put inanimate objects in there. But she just kind of like tucks him under her wing as like her like evidence that she must protect like a football.
If you'll just put the janitor down for a moment, we can go have a nice civil conversation in the conference room.
Is there a conference room anymore?
Oh, yes, it's in that building. And she points to a nearby, what looks like an office building, just in the middle of the park.
Yeah. I imagine we've got to be so disgusting right now. A sticky.
Oh, yes, all of you are just covered in this goo.
So would you know of what supervillains might be wanting to damage this year Adventure Park?
You know, I really can't say, but I think there were a couple. One of them looked like a half human, half bear, and the other one looked like a cow person. They might have been responsible for this.
Well, I am certainly not aware of any supervillains that meet that description.
I say, let's go to this conference room and have a conversation.
Yes, all right. And she leads you guys into the office building while the other building is still just exploding with goo and looks very sad.
Can Elaine like quickly fly up and like drop the janitor with like the obviously like emergency services that would have been starting to pull up
Sure,
for the
absolutely.
situation and like go to like a police officer of he's evidence and just like hand the police officer this goo covered janitor?
Right, of course. You have a difficulty 3 intellect roll right now, Ilan.
So while this is happening, I want to, do a sidelong comment to Magpie. The real shame is the insurance company's going to get this bill, not him.
Oh, I'm about to do something very unheroic. And I walk.
Okay. So, Ilan, what did you get?
I got a 9, so I just made it.
Do you have an inability in intellect rolls or no?
Nope.
Okay. So, you notice that the policeman that you talked to, in fact, all of the EMS personnel responding to this seem to be private EMS and private security for Gross World.
Elaine kind of like goes and then like brings him back and is like, I don't know how to keep you safe.
And then he just like looks up at you and whispers, you ruined my chance for safety when you put me into this.
You're part of the regime.
I just
And then Elaine just kind of like, Elaine kind of like quickly like flaps over to like the forest area and kind of like drops him in the forest of like,
Okay.
Okay.
Look, I know
In a tree?
that wasn't a pun, but your part of the regime was so funny. I feel like it deserves a pun point, Steven.
Fair. You know what? You get your pun point.
she like literally puts him in a like high up in a tree.
So you just kind of fly over the high chain link fence that borders the whole park. You just drop him on the top of a tree. It's like, I can't climb trees.
I know.
He just kind of like hugs the tree for dear life.
And she's just like, hopefully the werebear will find him, and then just like flaps off.
Is there any
On the
like,
One tree.
is there any nearby like public fountains?
Yes, there are.
I want to
Oh no.
bathe in one real quick because this stuff is gross.
There are
I'm-
actually showers here that you can like shower and get all the goo off of you.
I'm totally doing that. The thought of walking around
Okay.
with this stuff covering me.
Okay.
my
So
nemesis.
you notice that water actually makes it worse. But when you put on their special branded soap that they have available there, it suddenly comes right off.
Is it orange with
And
the
it, like-
pumice?
It actually like crusts and hardens the goo and just it comes off like sand then.
Still want
That's
to chuck a
much
whole bunch
better.
of that soap. Want
And
to chuck a whole bunch of that soap into the fountain just to be like.
you also see that there is they have little in the showers, they have little containers of this soap that you can just take if you want to take it.
Taking some
So-
soap.
I'm good. I'm clean.
So that soap is a Cypher, which it can powder and dry out this goo and make it so it just comes right off. Comes out.
They should have had that. They should have had that in the overhead sprayers of the factory.
You'd think they would.
But it's a Cypher, so it's special stuff.
Yep. So you guys come into this office building, and she leads you to an elevator, and she sort of looks at the elevator and looks it along, and she's like, maybe we'll take the stairs. And she leads you to the stairwell.
Backing up all the photographs as we're going, like just sending them to my cloud.
Okay. Easy to do. She leads
putting all the incriminating photos in a separate document file.
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, back at the tower, Croco Giles is currently like looking up places to steal more treasure for raccoons. And all of a sudden he gets these blip notifications for what you're doing. You just get this little text back that says, hope everything's all right, with a little heart.
I send a smiley face with the
heroic.
evil eyebrows.
And you guys are led via the stairwell to one of the lower levels. And there is a really, really fancy looking area in this lower level that she takes you into. It's got like golden abstract statues that vaguely look like human figures, but not really, only at a certain angle, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And there are fountains, and there are trophies and awards that this park has won that are on display for the most family-friendly, fun environment in the entire tri-state area.
Is there a desk?
Just in little parentheses at the bottom, it says that's 3 states. You are eventually led to this conference room with a big oaken table and these.
I sit at the head of it.
High-back chairs, huh?
I sit at the head of it like an absolute power move and put my feet on the table, and I have not washed off at all.
Okay, so you just sit at the head of this table in this really nice chair, and it's padded, and you immediately realize it's got like this mechanism at the base of your spine for like, you know, back support that makes you just feel like all of your trouble has melted away.
It's got lumbar.
Alang stands behind Magpie like her muscle.
Yeah, I also have not washed off, but if Mr. Grossman's not here, I think I will kind of nervously pace the room. Nervously.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm obviously making a mess.
Okay. You notice each of these chairs has like a little light over it so that if it shines down, it makes like this really menacing sort of effect. And of course, the one Magpie's sitting at is the most menacing of them all. And
is it an evil shareholders conference room? Is that what
it is? That's exactly what it is. And
it's evil.
Where's Scott? Yeah, I was gonna say, where's Scott's seat?
Leo's like, man, I hope to have a room like this someday for my own company.
Oh yes, indeed.
This is a really great conference room.
And Grace sort of goes to the chair that Magpie's sitting in, like she was going to sit there, and just kind of looks down and then keeps going and takes a
lighting
seat
could
in
be
one of the
better.
chairs. And
I'm certain that you could design something that would be more to your lighting.
Yeah, it could be brightened up a bit.
Where is my phone?
So
prop.
she you see Grace pull out a remote, and she clicks a button, and the double doors that led into the conference room begin to close, and then this other set of double doors that weren't there before, and then and then from out of the wall of like lining the whole area, these like bazookas sort of come out, and she's like, Mr. Grossman will see you in a moment, but first enjoy some fun. And
do you want a second to find out why this is not a smart decision on your part?
And she gives you this like very corporate smile, and she's like, I've got other places I need to be.
And I have a
And
kill switch.
and you see her arms sort of like and crank back, and she kind of like drops on all fours on the ground, and like her neck cranes forward, and she becomes this like vaguely horror spider thing that's basically full robot, as she just climbs up along the wall, and the bazookas start firing this orange goo at you guys.
So before any bazookas start shooting, the moment that guns pop out of the walls, I'm blasting.
Okay, you can absolutely try to blast one. Or multiple if you're using that power.
No, I don't have that. I just have single target. I don't know what my difficulty was, but I rolled a 13, so that hits 5.
5?
Yes.
Okay, that works. So you can blast one of them.
All right, 7 points of onslaughty damage.
Ow.
So as it comes out of the wall, and the goo sort of like splatters over it. So it's now burbling, and it's going to take a minute for this one to work right. The others start shooting this orange goo at all of you. And they are aiming at your bodies, at your feet, at everything, just filling this room with goo.
So, can we take an action before they begin shooting, or?
We are going to start that up next time.
Okay.
With
Sounds
the goo
good.
Lady?
guns firing into the room, just pouring this goo at all of you.
All goo blazing. Well, thanks for running as always, Steven. Thank you everyone for been hanging out with us in the chat and for watching. We'll be back next Tuesday with the next episode, and I'll be back here Friday afternoon for a live chat, and Mondays we do, the normal Monday hangout. With that, until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.